Pikachu is looking to be one of the strongest characters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I, being one of the best Pikachus since even Brawl and Smash 4, I am here to give you my part 1 of my 3-part Pikachu guide, this one focusing on the basics of Pikachu, mostly for lower level play or people just starting to pick up Pikachu after seeing the hype. I'm going to be covering how his moves work, or her if you use Pikachu Libre, basic combos, kill options, recovery, basic game plans, and all that good stuff. But first, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Nintendo for giving me a copy of this game, so #freegame. But anyway, let's get started. I will be using some terminology that I covered in my last video, the basics of Smash Ultimate, so if you get confused during this, you should probably check out that video. The card will be right up above. Just keep it there just in case. First off, let's go over Pikachu's ground moves in their entirety. Jab is Pikachu's fastest move, but it is one of the moves that was nerfed from Smash 4 since it can't knock people off of platforms or knock people off of the ledge, so it kind of just is an annoying quick interruption tool that doesn't have many other uses. I'd recommend, if you are a beginner, not really using this move at all. Forward tilt is a fast move that does a decent amount of percent, but it doesn't have as much utility as a lot of Pikachu's other ground moves, sans the fact that it can kill at higher percents. You can actually angle this move up and down, then they all do different percents. Up is the most percent and is the strongest, down has the least percent and is the least strong. This is common for a lot of angleable tilts and smash attacks just as a general rule. Up tilt is easily a top 2 move for Pikachu on the ground. It has a huge hitbox above it that's also disjointed, so you can hit people trying to approach you aerially pretty easily. It is also one of Pikachu's best combo tools, as it can lead to up air, nair, back air, another up tilt, and even thunder at high percents. I love the new animation, and even though it doesn't hit as far forward because of it, you can also turn around at pretty much any time, either by turning around on the ground or out of a dash you can even turn around, so you can pretty much get your up tilt whichever side you wanted pretty easily as long as you are comfortable with the general movement of Smash Bros. Ultimate. Down tilt is going to be your fast non-committal spacing move on the ground. It has almost no cooldown, and even though it doesn't raw combo into things a lot, it can still trip, and you can confirm off of that if your reaction time is fast enough. It is incredibly safe on shield, and unless your opponent parries it, you should be fine to throw it out as a spacing tool and even sometimes spam it. It can lead to knockdowns and follow-ups at higher percents, so if your opponent is spamming dash dancing or movement, this is going to be your best bet since you can throw it out to try to hit their aggressive dashes, but if you whiff, they won't be able to hit you because the move is so quick in general. Dash attack is really fast, powerful, and has a big hitbox above it. I personally use it a lot for catching rolls or hitting people that are trying to land, since it is a bit faster than up smash and you carry your forward momentum. Down smash is one of the moves that got buffed in Ultimate. It always sends in front of you with the final hit, so you can consistently get the hitbox where you want it, and 2, it seems like it connects way more consistently than in Smash 4, so you can actually use it. There are a lot of times in Smash 4 that I would use it, and my opponent would simply just fall out of the move, or even if they didn't fall out, they would go the wrong way compared to what I wanted, so I wasn't able to use it for pretty much anything other than this is an easy move to use, let me get a little bit of damage, but it wasn't anything crazy. Up smash is a staple kill move for Pikachu, although it did get a bit weaker, which is kind of fair considering something I will talk about later. The move is still pretty quick, has a big hitbox, and also has a hitbox behind it, so it's actually fairly safe even if you throw it out in the wrong direction. Forward smash is probably overall Pikachu's best ground move. It pulls him back in startup, it is so huge, it is so strong, and if your opponent isn't right next to you, it is really safe on block, incredibly hard to punish. Running around and doing F smash is actually a legitimate strategy that even I utilize at top level, so if you are a new player, you can definitely just kind of spam this whenever you want, and it will be very difficult for your opponents to do anything, especially because it even has a big hitbox above it, so even if your opponent is trying to jump around it, you can still end up forward smashing them, which is kind of ridiculous. Thunder Jolt is an amazing projectile. It travels about 15 units by training room standards, starting wherever it touches the ground. So if you do an aerial Thunder Jolt, it will go farther since it travels a bit before touching the ground. This is one of Pikachu's best pressure tools, obviously his best camping tool, and is best to use to continue your offense against players once you hit them. Skull Bash got a bit buffed from the previous iterations as it has way less lag on hit and when hitting shield, so accidentally using it isn't going to be nearly as bad. Something to remember that's actually a tip in-game as well is if you input your Skull Bash as a smash attack, you will actually fly much farther than if you input it as a tilt. Thunder is Pikachu's signature move as a thundercloud spawns and a bolt of lightning comes down to hit your opponent or strike Pikachu for a powerful finisher. This is one of Pikachu's most threatening tools since you can just always use it when your opponent is above you pretty much every single time and they have to avoid it. The Thunderbolt will also go through most platforms depending on their height, so you can use it almost anywhere, which is ridiculous that a threat range that big has so so few negatives. The move has less lag if you hit yourself with it, so be sure to aim for that as well as timing it, so the strong hitbox will connect also. Quick Attack is Pikachu's other signature move and probably one of the deepest moves in the game. It is an incredible tool in disadvantage, neutral, and advantage, offstage, pretty much all the time, but since this is a beginner's guide, I want to give you a few tips on improving how you use it. This is a really hard move to use, so if you aren't used to it, you will have to practice it a lot. Quick Attack has 2 zips available to him, and both of them have a really high number of angles to choose from, and that can be overwhelming. First, you should learn how to use the cardinal directions, being up, down, left, and right, on your first zip. So when you press up B, you will immediately move your control stick in any direction, being left, right, up, or down for the most part, so you can get your zip in that direction. If you are only going up or at a random angle that you don't want, that means that your thumb is not fast enough, so you just have to practice and practice and practice. Once you get the hang of the first zip, try incorporating the second zip of any direction just so you can get the timing. Try to do things like up and then right, up and then left, down and then right, down and then left, right and then up, right and then left. Just make sure you can mix up all of those cardinal directions so you can kind of get a hang of how fast your fingers need to move and the timing in order for you to do so. Remember, you can't use the same angle twice, as there's about a 30 to 45 degree difference necessary to get the second zip out to stop you from just doing a double of any direction. Once you get comfortable with those, try learning the basic diagonals like up right, down left, and up left, and using them in the same way. Up and then up right, left and then up left. Honestly, the angles more precise than this only matter in very specific situations, so if you get the hang of this, you are probably going to be good to go. Remember, if you quick attack into the ground, you will not be able to do a second zip, so if you are practicing down and then down in a direction, that is probably going to be why you sometimes will not get your second zip. The floor stops it hard, so be aware of your spacing and angles if you want to get both zips on stage. Now, let's talk about his aerials, which are one of Pikachu's strongest aspects. Forward air is a great spacing move that is pretty safe, has good movement, and can combo into itself at low percent. It is a really strong neutral tool because of the fact that it's safe, and probably my most used aerial overall, even though the drag down forward air got nerfed. Both approaching and retreating fair are great, so you can pretty much just throw it out in a short hop whenever you want, unless you are above someone. Up air is going to be Pika's main juggle tool, as it is incredibly fast and disjointed. The damage got a big buff, so juggling with it actually matters since it does I think 7 or 8% fresh. The damage will rack up really quickly. You can use Pikachu's incredible speed to get under people and use this move a lot, especially if you get good at raw up airs. Up air is also one of your main combo tools, but I'll be talking about that a bit more in depth soon. Back air is now the fastest it has been since the move changed to the flying disc that it did in Melee. It can combo into itself, it can edge guard, it's a good landing option because of the fact that you land really flat when you land with it, and it is a strong combo finisher. It also now auto cancels out of a short hop, which is amazing for out of shield options, as it is better for that now because especially Nair is less optimal for that since Nair has changed. Speaking of Nair, this is the shiny new toy that Pikachu has received, and I absolutely love it. It is still a fast out of shield option since it's still Pikachu's fastest aerial at frame 3, but it no longer knocks the opponent away in the same way since it is a multi-hit. Its best usage by a mile is using it while landing, as it confirms into pretty much every single move that Pikachu has between F tilt, up tilt, down tilt, grab, up smash, down smash, just to name a few. Down air for Pikachu was already insane move because it lingered, it was strong, and it was incredibly disjointed. But now, Sakurai and his team decided that Pikachu needed an easy move that spikes, which I will forever be grateful for. This move now spikes. It has all the functionality it did in Smash 4 and Brawl. It auto cancels out of a short hop, which is now easier because of auto short hop. It can catch people's sidesteps. It can have some pressure situations that can confirm into grab. It's really disjointed. The splash hitbox can mix people up that are trying to hit you out of shield, but now it spikes. That's it. What? Why does it spike? That's crazy. It only spikes, granted, at the very beginning of the move, so landing it is still very tricky, but it is such a potent threat for off stage or for continuing combos that even if it's difficult, it still 100% is useful. Up throw is a combo throw at low percent to confirm into thunder at higher percent, but otherwise is not fairly useful. Forward throw and back throw are mostly just positional throws. You want to throw your opponent in front of you, go for forward throw. You want to throw your opponent behind you off stage, go for back throw. Down throw is the star of the show, as it combos into things for a very long time, like a very long time, like until 100% time of a long time. Yes, this even works with DI and mashing air dodge. It's kinda silly. This is going to be a huge combo tool for Pikachu, and I will go over it in my combo section, which is right now. With combos, let's just go over the basics. As I've mentioned, down throw combos into pretty much everything at very low percents. Up tilt, up air, fair, nair, back air, even down air, all combo out of it. If you land a grab, you will be getting a decent amount of damage at pretty much all percents. Up tilt at low percent links into itself and then sets up for up airs and either extended combos with platforms or just a bair or forward air finisher. Landing nair is going to be your best combo starter from the air, and it combos into up tilt and grab, which, as I've mentioned, are your two other best combo tools. There are setups to repeat Pikachu's landing nair on people, but that's a little bit too advanced for a beginner video, so I'll be going over that either in my intermediate or my advanced Pikachu guide. Fair at low percents will also combo into itself and into dash attack, which will be pretty decent for damage considering how strong of a neutral tool it is, and it also combos into raw up air, which can combo into either another up air or a back air, but that's pretty difficult at first. Pikachu's combo game is really free-flowing, so figure out what works best for you. I don't want to tell you, hey, this is the correct option, only go for it, because Pikachu is a lot of fun, and there are a lot of different things you can do. If you prefer up tilt instead of grab after a nair, go for it. Getting comfortable with your options is going to be the most important thing when you play your character. Now, let's talk neutral. Pikachu has an incredible neutral game due to his speed, his size, and his great non-committal options. Pikachu can be played both aggressively and defensively. His aggressive options are going to mostly be run up down tilt, short hop fair, reverse aerial rush, short hop up air, and of course running with Thunder Jolt. Fair is very safe on shield, up air is ambiguous and hard to punish, and down tilt is an incredibly safe poke that, as I've mentioned, can trip and can confirm into more damage. Thunder Jolt is a great lead-in for all of these, since if your opponent gives you a little bit of space since you're playing aggressively and they want to space you out, you can run backwards, shoot a Thunder Jolt, and then run behind it, which you pretty much get a free mix-up on whatever you want to do with it, and your opponent is just going to have to guess. Defensively, Pikachu can abuse his speed, his small size, and quick attack to make it a nightmare for the opponent to hit you. Chasing Pikachu really feels like a cat and mouse game because a lot of people get incredibly frustrated trying to hit him, and the minute the opponent thinks they've cornered you, bam, you just quick attack out of the corner or randomly jump and do a forward air to combat their approach. It's a hard life approaching Pikachu, to be honest. A lot of rising aerials can't hit you because Pikachu's too short, so you can use your size wisely. They just can't really combat your speed for the most part because Pikachu is faster than the majority of characters, and then of course you have your lingering and fast hitboxes that can stuff people out that are approaching, so playing defensively is an incredibly smart way to play this character as well. So both styles kind of fit, so choose which one fits you best. In advantage, Pikachu is going to want two things for the most part: to keep your opponent above you with up airs or to hit them off stage to attempt to edgeguard them. Up air is an incredible tool at keeping almost every character above you because of its speed and its disjoint. If someone tries to counterattack you while landing and they do actually have a disjoint, you can typically fall to avoid the move and either up air them again afterwards or forward smash or forward air them to knock them off stage. In disadvantage, Pikachu is one of the, if not the strongest character due to his recovery, skull bash, and just quick attack in general. Almost anytime you get him in the air, you can retreat off stage and recover with quick attack. This can either be done by jumping away from your opponent and slowly drifting off stage, or even jump and skull bashing off stage. Almost no character will be able to chase you effectively, and almost no character will be able to edge guard you at all just because of how versatile Pikachu's recovery is. Also, when you're landing, if you don't want to go off stage, you can quick attack onto platforms from so far away from them that even if someone hard commits to chase you off stage, you can just quick attack on stage and then you actually gain positional advantage. This is fairly risky because if they read it, they will hit you for it, as opposed to just going off stage, which is generally the safer option, but it also has a lot more reward. So based on what your opponent is doing, you can kind of figure out what your best bet is and what you want to risk or not risk. For killing, Pikachu's main options will be the aforementioned up smash, down smash, and forward smash on the ground. This may seem hard to land, but Nair combos into both up smash and down smash literally forever. Like, it actually works until 999%. Forward smash you can't exactly combo into, but it is a really strong and safe tool, as I mentioned, so honestly just throwing it out when your opponent's between 100 to 140% will be fantastic for landing kills. I legitimately kill people so much because of that. If you can't seem to get kills at good percents with those moves, dash attack becomes a great option as it's fast, has low end lag, and is still pretty strong. It'll start killing about 135 to 140. If you can't secure that, you gain access to F-tilt as a kill move at around 150%. And if you can't land that, then up throw will start killing people vertically and consistently from about 160 to 170 to 180 depending on the weight of the characters. If you were to practice one thing to make sure you are comfortable when it comes to picking up Pikachu, it is quick attack. I know I already went over it, but I cannot understate how important this is. Honestly, if you cannot recover correctly as Pikachu and you do not understand quick attack, Even after practicing it for hours and hours and hours and hours, the character is significantly neutered. Almost all of the strength of Pikachu lies in the fact that you can almost always recover or make it back from the farthest depths of the stage. His longevity is much, much longer than even heavier characters that can't recover because they will just get edge guarded. Please make sure you practice your angles and make sure you can get the timing for the second part of your quick attack or the second zip. Pikachu can make it from ridiculous distances off stage, even with just the angles that I described earlier, not even complex ones. One thing I cannot do is talk about killing without talking about edge guarding. However, a lot of traps for edge guarding and a lot of the kind of flow chart that you want to do in edge guarding are really complex, and it is changing character to character. So at first, I would recommend honestly just getting comfortable playing off stage as you being the aggressor. Just run off with the fair, run off with the down air, run off with the back air, shoot thunder jolts, try to limit people's options when they are off stage. Make sure you can cover low and also cover high and learn how to cover both of them individually, and then you can start learning how to cover both at the same time. You know, if certain characters don't have their jump, you can draw off a thunder jolt to kind of limit their movement. They're going to have to air dodge or either early up B, and then you can potentially charge a fourth smash. There are so many things that you will have to think about, but first you should just be comfortable off stage, and it is definitely reliant on how comfortable you are with quick attack in terms of recovery. And yeah, that is going to be about it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. As I mentioned during the thing, I will be making part 2 and part 3 of this video. Part 2 probably will be out within 2 weeks, and part 3 will probably be out within like the middle of January, maybe like right after Glitch, which is an event I'm going to. And yeah, social media, Panda, and PANDA stuff is down below. Don't worry, I will be still making other content, not just about Pikachu, so you can look forward to that. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.